And we also have Trae Young making his debut on my birthday Thursday with the Wizards against the Utah Jazz, which I love. Right, like first and foremost, nice to see Trae Young back on the floor. First time seeing him with this young group of guys out there in Washington. We just seen him get ejected a couple nights ago for defending his teammates. He let us know that not to get used to seeing that, but he will be there to ride and stand up for his brothers, which was dope to see. But I love the fact that not only is he returning, they made sure to make the return against a Utah Jazz team that is also not necessarily doing the greatest. They're on the side of tanking. They have a bunch of injuries, and so I think this Trae Young debut is going to be a sexy one, right? Like I'm expecting Trae Young to leave a really good impression. I was always told when I was younger by my mom, you never get a second chance at a first impression. So I'm highly anticipating this game. This is a game that normally I might have would have scrolled past or not thought too much of. I might give this a half. I might check out the first half of this game to get that first look and that first glance at Trae Young, who not only is going to make his debut, but he's making a debut with a new team and a new jersey number. I believe Trae Young is wearing number 3. This would be my first time since his AAU days seeing him rock a single digit number. I'm so used to 11 from Oklahoma to Atlanta and so on and so forth. I think the only time we ever seen him in his professional career is when he wore 8 after the passing of the late, great Kobe Bryant. There's also rumblings and rumors that we could potentially see the return of Jayson Tatum Friday against the Dallas Mavericks. This is probably the most exciting one. This is the biggest one. This is yet to be confirmed by Jayson Tatum as well. So we're kind of speculating here. This came from Bill Simmons, who is a big time Celtics fan. So I'm kind of taking his word for it. And to see Jayson Tatum and some of the clips that have come out about his documentary and his return to the court, I'm just kind of happy as a fan to see him back on the floor, right? To be able to see him suit back up, to see all of the doubt he went through, the adversity he faced, and to know the hill he had to climb and the mountain he had to climb to get back just on the floor. I'm excited for that aspect of it. Now, I am going to give some grace because I know for a lot of the basketball world, the conversation automatically becomes how much he can provide for the Celtics immediately, and if that could propel them back into contention. And that leads me to one of the first mailbag questions that we got. I want to give a big shout out to my guy, Adrian. Salazar Lopez 20 is his ad. He says, I'm rooting for Tatum to come back, but if he's not performing to his abilities and is hurting the team the rest of the season, would you bench him for the playoffs? Um, First and foremost, I respect the opinion and I appreciate you submitting your question. This is an interesting thing, right? Because I understand the workaround that Tatum and the Celtics both have to do, right? You're trying to incorporate Tatum into a team that himself, he said, has curated an identity for themselves without him. This is a completely different team than the team he suited up with last time he was on the floor against my Knicks in the playoffs that had Drew Holiday, Porzingis, Horford, right? This team now has had Anthony Simons and they traded him, and now they got Vooch. You got a new starting center and Neemias Queta. You got Hugo Gonzalez, who had 15 and 15 the other night, the first rookie since Antoine Walker to do so. He's in the rotation. Peyton Pritchard to start. Like, there's a lot of different things, not to mention the ascension in the year that Jaylen Brown himself is having as a number one option. There is a lot of moving parts to this. But I think if you're bringing Jayson Tatum back and he's going to start and play big time minutes, there is something there that makes you feel like as a coaching staff and as a team that he's not going to necessarily hurt the team. It would be tough to imagine Jayson Tatum is hurting the team so much that you have to bench him. So that's my whole thing, Adrian. I don't know what Joe Mazzulla would do, but is there a world where we see Jayson Tatum come back and he's hurting the Celtics so much that they're not taking away shots, they're not cutting his minutes, they're not easing it. They're just completely removing him out of the starting lineup. That's hard for me to imagine. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. I just don't see a scenario where that happens. And also, like, it depends on what they think of themselves, right? Like, do they think they're in contention without Jason Tatum? I don't think so, because if that was the case, they would probably let him ride it out. the rest of the year without coming on the floor. I think there is hopes that he's been advanced in his recovery and that he can use the last 20 to 15 games to knock off the rust. And you would hope that by the time you get to the second round of the playoffs, he's looking like Jayson Tatum of himself, and you could be this team to kind of shake up the Eastern Conference and maybe play yourself back into the NBA Finals, because the East is that wide open, and even the better teams or the top teams out East, they're not that much significantly better than the rest of the bunch. So I think that's their perspective. And again, I just don't see a world where he's playing that so bad that you would have to bench him.